If you've been on TikTok at all lately, you've seen those viral videos from Chinese manufacturers who make handbags and other luxury goods that get shipped to the US and have a fancy name brand label slapped on them and are sold to American consumers for exorbitant prices. Let me show you a little bit in case you haven't seen one.
This is China's largest luxury handbag warehouse. Millions of made in China bags shipped globally every year. Crafted here. Trump's tariffs blocked exports. But our factories can't stop. Hundreds of workers need their wages. For decades, you called our craft trash. But those same handmade, your $20, made in France fantasies. Western brands slapped logos, charged 100x more, then mocked us. Trump's tariffs a blessing. Now the world must see the truth. No middleman, no luxury markup. Even with tariffs, prices drop.
Okay, you get the point. The claim is that a lot of these luxury brands that have European labels on them are actually made by workers in China. Now, I don't know how much these are knockoffs versus the real thing. But the claim here is like the tariffs are an opportunity for Americans to realize how much they're getting scammed, how much they are being upcharged for nothing more than a name brand, right? They are paying for the name, which is an issue that Americans have had for ages. In our system of hyperconsumerism, brand loyalty is a key component. Attaching wealth, luxury, and social status to a particular product, selling us things that we don't need so that we can feel we have achieved some kind of particular status, that's an age-old American tradition. So this tariff situation, the trade war in China, is waking a lot of people up to the reality that they were just paying massive sums of money for a brand name. It's like when you realize that the generic green beans were canned in the same cannery as the name brand ones, but they are, 25, 40% less. Realizing that brand loyalty causes you to waste a tremendous amount of money, and that the whole concept of luxury name brand goods is basically a scam. So there's been this kind of awakening and ongoing conversation around this issue of consumerism. And the real Corn Pop had to take, and no hate to him, but I want to show you his perspective, and then I have some thoughts.
I really do believe that the biggest FU you can give to the creator of the tariffs right now is to buy stuff directly from China. Like, I'm sure that all of you have seen on your For You pages the sheer volume of factories that are making their TikToks, and they're saying, like, listen, you don't have to buy an Hermes bag for like $30,000. You can buy it from us for $1,500. And the only difference is that it's not going to have the Hermes logo on it, but it's the exact same bag. Because if you do that, if you actually decide to cut out the middleman, which are companies like Amazon that are effectively just giant fulfillment centers, like, kind of in a trench coat, then like you would really be a pain in the ass to the entire U.S. economy, man.
So I totally get where he's coming from. I disagree. The biggest FU would be to stop buying luxury goods. The biggest FU to a hyper-consumeristic society, a society that benefits the billionaires, the mega corporations, by telling us that, yeah, we know you're dissatisfied with life, but what you need is to just buy more, work longer hours so that you can afford more luxury goods. Essentially, give more of your life hours to the corporations so that you can buy more widgets from the corporations and still feel very empty and unfulfilled at the end of it, and still struggle. The greatest FU to that system is to not participate. And I would add, too, that there is a significant amount of exploited labor in China. So buy luxury goods like Hermes bags that you don't really need straight from China is not actually solving that issue. It's not creating safe work environments with a livable wage for those workers. And it's still buying into the false belief that you need to spend $1,500 on a purse, that luxury goods will bring you any sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. It is still participating in a hyper-consumeristic society, one that is inherently exploitive and one that ultimately only benefits the capitalists who are exploiting all of us. It does not help any of the rest of us be more financially secure, have a better quality of life, have a greater sense of contentment. Again, no hate, but I would just posit that perhaps what we need to really evaluate is whether or not we need to be participating so heavily in a system that is out to screw over all of us, to steal from us not only our life hours, not only our hard-earned dollars, but our contentment and our quality of life. What is happening now, not just with Trump's chaotic tariffs, but also with the fact that so many Americans are really starting to gain a level of class consciousness they didn't have before, realizing how much the system has been gamed and controlled by the super rich. And that's why we're all struggling. That's why our quality of life is reduced. That is why we are having such a difficult time, and why the American dream feels so unreachable to most of us. This is a great time to say, how do I reclaim my power within this system and work to change it? I will never stop quoting this. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. That is true in politics, which is why we must organize and we must work together, but it is also true economically, especially in a system where the overlap of who controls the economy and who is now attempting to seize control of the government, right? Like it's the same group. Economic blackouts are incredibly powerful, deciding that you are not going to participate in a capitalist system in any way that is anything other than buying like the most barest of necessities. That is absolutely reclaiming your power, right? That's an economic strike. Economic blackouts, choosing to say, during this time, maybe I can't attend marches, maybe I can't attend protests, maybe I can't even attend like town halls, or there's not a whole lot that I feel that I have the time or that feels safe for me to participate in. There is tremendous power in participating in an economic blackout, in reorienting the way that you view your relationship with the economy, with corporations, with a consumerist system, learning to deconstruct from the lies of consumerism and start thinking about what a post-capitalist America could look like. I used to call myself an anti-capitalist. I really like the phrase post-capitalist now. I love the idea of looking forward into the future and thinking about what future we get to write, what kind of America we want to craft that actually is of, by, and for the people, where we actually have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everybody. Not just rich white men, not just Donald Trump's buddies, not just the billionaires, but for every working class American, for everybody who lives here. And one of the ways we work toward that future is learning how to deconstruct from our consumerist society, realizing that billionaires are not our friends, they're not our allies, they are our oppressors. And then figuring out, what does it look like to reclaim our power? And understanding that that's not just something that personally impacts us. When you're choosing not to purchase goods and products that are made with exploited labor that cause significant environmental harm, you are living in alignment with your values. And you're also voting with your dollars about what kind of society we want, what kind of economy we want. So just something to think about. Maybe the answer is not run off and buy everything directly from China now. Maybe the real FU to our consumerist society and the billionaires who are fleecing this country, reducing our quality of life, squeezing everything they can out of us, is to reject the idea of consumerism at all, to figure out how to resist it. Because now, like, every act of purchasing or deciding not to purchase something becomes an act of resistance, a chance to exercise your power. And that is really, I have personally found it a very, very good feeling. It feels really empowering. Again, just something to think about.